thank you all so much for coming. I know that we're all here because we all love Jerry and really care about him, and I just really want to honor him today. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay.
A little louder.
Okay, a little bit louder. If you don't know me, I'm Annette, and I'm Dottie's daughter. And like I said, I feel just really honored to be here. And I know I want to say a few things about Jerry, and I really want to welcome all of you. Once I finish, if you want to get up here and just say anything, or you can stay where you're seated if you want. But let's just take some time to honor Jerry, and then we can all have something to eat. And let's share stories and just kind of spread the love, because I know we all really cared about him. So I'm just going to start saying some things that I remember and that mean something to me. And again, you feel free to share your stories as well. I really liked Jerry. I know we all like Jerry. He will always hold a very special place in my heart. Jerry was a simple man. He was a man with a teasing, somewhat sarcastic sense of humor. When we would go to visit Mom and Jerry, we would always end up playing the card game 31, which Jerry taught all of us how to play, and even the kids, as soon as they were old enough to understand the game. It took 3 quarters to play the game. And I can remember every time we'd start to play, Jerry would sit at the end of the table. He'd reach behind the table to his glass cabinet that kept all these beautiful cards in. And at the bottom of the cabinet, he'd bring out a box, and he'd set it on the table. And he'd open the box, and it contained his stash of coins and his cards. And we'd eagerly deal the cards. And it always seemed that either Mom or Jerry would win. Just adding to Jerry's...
But if he didn't win, he let you know.
Yes. Adding to his stash of coins. And you could see that smirk and that joy on Jerry's face when he won. He had a little competitive edge about him. And we have so many wonderful memories of going to visit Mom and Jerry, especially when they lived up in Shingletown. When the kids were little, Jerry would give the kids rides on his 4-wheeler. He'd take them out into the wilderness and he'd show them the snow. And he also built them the most amazing furniture and toys from his wood shop. When my daughter Stephanie was in kindergarten and 1st grade, she was totally obsessed with Beanie Baby little stuffed animals. And Jerry made her a whole furniture set with little chairs and little bunk beds, just the right size for the Beanie Babies. He also made wooden coat stands for the kids that they still use to this day, and this has been 20, 25 years later. And for me, it was a little footstool that I still use every single day in my psychotherapy office. I rest my feet on it. Jerry was truly talented with his woodworking abilities, and the projects he created have lasted for decades. At Christmas time, Mom and Jerry would come to our house for Christmas Eve dinner and our annual gift exchange game. And Jerry was so much fun to have around during Christmas. He had 2 favorite drinks that he liked at Christmas time. One was spiked eggnog, and the other was Midori's. And you guys probably know, it's a green apple liqueur that he'd mix rum and sweet and sour. One Christmas Eve, he had all of us drinking Midori's, and it was so much fun. It was truly a treat for us to see Jerry get a little silly and a little happy when he'd have his Midori's or his eggnog. It was truly a lot of fun. And Jerry gets extra special bonus points at Christmas Eve dinner because he was one of the only males that would actually eat lutefisk. Most of the men said no.
You have to explain what that is, Annette.
It's well, you explain, Mom.
Well, it's a Norwegian tradition. It's a Christmas tradition, and it's probably codfish, and it's soaked in lime, which is really hard, but that's how they cure it, I guess. It has a distinct flavor and odor. All my family, no know all about this, you know, because they grew up with it like that. But if you grew up with it, you know, it's something I really look forward to, and I order it special from SMS when here in Shingletown when I go to Santa Rosa. But anyway, that's what it is.
And the guys can't stand it, but Jerry was one that would actually try to eat it.
He would eat it. Yeah.
What was the name of it again?
It's lutefisk.
Lutefisk.
Yeah.
Lutefisk.
Lutefisk.
Okay.
In December was also Jerry's birthday, which meant he often got gypped of a birthday gift because his birthday was so close to Christmas. And about 30 years ago, I started a tradition with Jerry where every December I would get him a plaid flannel shirt for his birthday and then another one for Christmas. And do you know something? I think Jerry was onto something. Because do you know in the 30 plus years that I would go shopping for these plaid flannel shirts during the holidays, they were always in style. For 30 years, they never went out of style. So who knew? Jerry was fashion forward. And that's why many of us today are wearing our plaid flannel shirts in honor of Jerry. And I encourage you, when you go shopping, every holiday, when you see these, think of Jerry.
Good idea.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of years ago, Mom had to have back surgery. And she was in the hospital, and I got to spend a few days here at the house with Jerry. And it was a real special time for me because I got to know Jerry a whole lot better. And as you might expect, when I arrived, he had to go scope out my car. You know Jerry, he loves cars. And then he showed me some of his favorite TV shows. We watched some show about this long-haired dude that was out in the wilderness trying to survive. We watched another show about building tree houses out in the boonies. And we just had cocktails and had meals together, and it was really special. And Jerry made me feel at home, and that's how Jerry was. When I think of Jerry, I think of, like I said earlier, he was a simple man. But you give him his home, you give him his TV shows, give him his Midori's or an eggnog, his cars, and his family and friends. And he was a happy, content guy. He was truly a special guy for all of us. Jer, you are truly loved. You were truly loved. You are also truly, truly liked. We will truly, truly miss you. And you will always have a special place, not just in my heart, but all of our hearts. Thank you. Now, anybody else want to come up and... We're all crying. You know, I encourage anybody. The other thing, don't forget to sign in if you haven't signed in when you came in. But we'd love to have, and again, you don't have to get up here. You can just say if you have any memories of Jerry. Anybody?
Maybe after a little bit of wine.
Okay, yeah. Maybe. Okay, why don't we do that? Okay, everybody have some wine. Why don't you go ahead and have some food, and then we can continue this later. Does that sound okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.